God has actually used that, and we are a tighter group now because we talked about things that we felt were very important, and they were on the table. Listen, if we can't talk to each other over something as stupid as politics, and it causes divisions of fellowship, and this happens in the church of Jesus Christ, where we ought to be flying higher, what hope does the world have that they can settle things? If there's any place, if there's any dominion where human beings who love Jesus ought to be able to talk together and dialogue, it ought to be in a context of the church and people who follow the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, the one who actually is in charge and the one who actually can change things. I'm talking now to me. I'm talking now to you. People in our church go to a small group, politics come up, and they are no longer welcome. No, they don't say those words. What is wrong with this picture? Believe, have opinions, act, pray, vote, dialogue. Okay? Let love for your brother be an overarching respect, dignity, things like that belong in the church. People that love Jesus. Work, vote, speak, dialogue, expose, educate, and change. Jesus said this in the Lord's Prayer. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Remember, in that same context, salt, light, all that. Your job as a Christian, as a disciple of Jesus Christ, is to pray for and act upon the desire to make Christ's values, godliness, a part of everyday life. First starting with me, and then voting, changing, speaking, dialoguing that into existence. You are an agent for change for Jesus Christ. That is who you are. That is your role. First and foremost, your kingdom come. Your will be. Well, we're not a theocracy like they were in Israel. I agree. Well, God isn't our king as a nation. I agree. But your job, you as a Christian, is to help his kingdom come on earth, knowing that it's never going to be complete until the king does return, and when he does, he'll make it happen fully and completely. But right now, we're his agents, we're his soldiers. That is our job to do. So work, vote, speak, dialogue, expose, educate, change. Listen to Jeremiah 29. God was going to punish his people, send them into exile to Babylon. And he says this, when you get there, build houses and settle down, plant gardens and eat what they produce, marry and have sons and daughters, find wives for your sons and give your daughters in marriage, so that they too may have sons and daughters, increase in number there, do not decrease. Also seek the peace and prosperity of the city to which I have carried you into exile. Pray to the Lord for it, because if it prospers, you too will prosper. Yes, this is what the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, says. Do not let the prophets and diviners among you deceive you. Here's the idea. God has planted us in Babylon. He says, pray for Babylon. Pray for its prosperity. Pray for peace, just as we read in the New Testament. Number 5. Be very cautious where you put your hope. I think this is in your notes. Psalm 146. Psalm 146, verse 3. Don't put your trust in governments. Right? Don't put your trust in human leaders. You know, this is my opinion. Again, circle the word my. I believe President Obama was elected certainly because of his policies, certainly because of voting and so on, but what he promised, what people hoped in. And I think what people hoped in was that here's a guy that when he gets into office can fly higher than the Democratic or Republican Party, can bring good heads to the table, that can leave partisanship at least at bay, hold it at bay, and solve some of the pressing issues, healthcare, of course, but economy and many of the other issues. There was hope in the American people that this president, this man, could do something with the evils that we are seeing in our country. And guess what? He's just a man. And what we're finding is it was misplaced hope. For there's no president that can eradicate greed. There's no president that can guarantee peace. Don't put your hope in human leaders. You know, this is the greatest opportunity in your lifetime to be alive. Why? Because people are recognizing that the economy can't save us, our family structure can't save us, and now we know the government can't save us. What are we going to do? Well, guess who has the answer? The only hope that we have is the only hope we've ever had. It's Jesus Christ, the King of Kings, and He can change greed. He can dissolve wars and conflict. He can change a human heart. And what is His strategy to do that? By you electing officials? Well, partially, but primarily it's for you to be in the heart transformation business. It's by you reaching your neighbor or a family member, one person at a time. That's the hope of this country. You know, we celebrated communion 2,000 years ago. 12 guys were in a room. They had dinner with Jesus. One of them left to betray Him, right? Then there were 11. 11 guys in 250 years, no, in about 200 years, turned the world upside down. The world as we know it is absolutely different because Jesus Christ came, died, rose from the dead, the Holy Spirit was poured out, and they changed the world. 11 guys. Now, I'm a very conservative estimator here, but let's just pretend there are 11 million completely dedicated, real, genuine, authentic followers of Jesus Christ. How long would it take if all 11 million reached one person per year and their heart was transformed by Jesus Christ? How long would it take before that effect would be felt undeniably in our country? Not many years. How many years would it take if just the people in this room, starting with me, took the ministry of reconciliation that's been the mantle that's been placed on each of us and said, you, just do this one thing. Be salt, be light, be courageous, live for Christ, be in the heart transformation business. How long before the world would change? You want to do something significant with your life? You want to do something adventurous? You want to do something exciting? You want to do something that will last for all eternity? Touch one person for Jesus Christ. And that's what we are in the privilege, we have the privilege of being a part of. I don't know what job you have, what your occupation, what your secular calling is, but your sacred calling has already been decided as a follower of Jesus Christ, and you are the hope of the world. Salt, light. All right, well, do we have any questions? Let's just try to get this really quick. Is it possible for someone to be a politician and to be committed to Christ? Absolutely, absolutely. Whoever asked this question, if you're interested in this, study the book of Daniel. Daniel was taken exile as a teenager into Babylon. He lived for the Lord, and God blessed his life, and because of that blessing, he survived 3 political administrations, something unheard of in those days. Usually a new king would come in office, he'd just kill everybody, right, and start over with his own guys. Daniel served under 3 kings and 3 empires. He loved God and served him. Yes, it takes a miracle of God, I believe,